Welcome back to our 2021 Select Series. I'm really excited about this segment as we're going to talk about some industry trends and marketing opportunities that we have at Select Sires. I'm Lorna Marshall with the Beef Department, and with me I have Dr. Larry Cora, who is our supply chain consultant. As we've talked through some of the different discussions that we've had, our goal at Select Sires is to add value to our customers' beef programs through the genetics and management and reproduction that we implement on your beef ranches. And so over the course of the last couple of years, we've really tried to also put some focus on helping our customers capture some of the genetic and management value that hopefully we're helping create on your operations. And so today, Dr. Cora, I'd like to visit a little bit about what we see in terms of industry trends from a marketing standpoint, as well as some of the marketing opportunities that we've been working on at Select Sires for our beef customers. So with that, I might just have you speak to maybe some of the trends that you see developing in our industry.
I think one of the challenges for the beef cattle industry has always been finding ways to add value, whether it's at the cow-calf level or whether it's at the stocker level, feedlot level, and that's part of the problem. The beef industry is so segmented that unfortunately, quite often, to make money, they had to make money at the expense of the other segment. But I think that is changing, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of cow-calf producers are saying, okay, how do I make that happen? And so some of the things that we're seeing, I think, is they need to start taking advantage of, if they use superior genetics, how do they market that? How do they create a flow so that genetic information creates value for those calves? And whether they're selling at a sale barn or whether they're going directly into a feedlot in a supply chain, both of those you can do that. And so one of the ways of possibly doing that is develop a resume on your calves. In other words, take a look at the kind of genetics that you're using that would appeal to the people buying those calves. Do they have growth potential? Do they have marbling potential as they hang on the rail? And really share that with the cattle as they go through the market, whether it's a sale barn or take advantage of marketing directly to a feedlot. And I think one of the other things that's changed in the industry that's really going to make supply chains work as we look to the future is we've gone in a feedlot industry from being a very commodity industry. Buy the calves, feed them, sell them, and we've changed from that commodity industry to basically a feedlot industry that now understands genetics a whole lot better than they did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and they're starting to appreciate the fact that cattle that have growth potential, the potential to hang on the rail, have added value. And so that's why I think we're going to start to see supply chains grow in the future. I've always felt that's an important part or one way to add value. So I might turn the question around, Lorna, and have you talk a little bit about what is Select Sires doing in this whole area trying to create opportunities for producers?
Yeah, I think that's been a really fun challenge that we've taken on the last couple of years in trying to develop more marketing outlets for our customers. Cattle, and I think you're right. I mean, we do see feed yards and packers a lot more interested in helping us identify cattle that fit what they're trying to do, and maybe even manage them a little bit differently based off the type of genetics that we've put together in a package. So we have tried to develop a couple of new avenues. One of those would be GeneNet. GeneNet is probably one of the oldest grid marketing companies in the industry. So they've been around for a very long time. They've got a high quality grid. And so we're really excited to be working with them and helping to flow more cattle through that grid, helping our customers capture some of the value of the genetics and management that they've put into those cattle, and also know that they have a place that those cattle can be harvested. So very excited to be working with GeneNet. And then the other program that we have is with 44 Farms. So we market several 44 Angus bulls, and as many probably have seen, they have a buyback program for feeder cattle sired by 44 bulls. They go into a program called Prime Pursuits that is marketed through Walmart. And so we've had several customers over the last couple of years that have not only been utilizing those genetics, but have also been very successful in marketing those cattle through the Prime Pursuits program and capturing some of that value that they've put back into their cow herds.
I think one of the things I might add, and that's excellent, when you talk about GeneNet as an example, it was one of the original grid programs that was out there. It, along with U.S. Premium Beef, really kind of set the standard that in essence the premiums can be paid for production of quality and cattle that really meet specs. And so I think an important part to keep in mind if you're really focusing on genetics and the right kind of genetics that are going to add value to the folks down the road is those cattle have to be sold on a grid. And grids today have certain components that are very typical. One of those components, for example, is going to be that they're premiums for quality, premiums for hitting prime, premiums for hitting certified Angus beef and other premium choice programs, and trying to avoid discounts. For example, on the cattle that are poor yield grade cattle, 4s and 5s, or cattle that fit into the select categories. So using the right kind of genetics, it's amazing what one can accomplish. And I think it's what the cattle industry has really done. We have gone from not that many years ago, barely able to hit, say, 50-55% choice and prime. Today as an industry, we're hitting 80 and 82%. That is impressive what the cattle industry has done. And what they've accomplished that is through the use of superior genetics. So that's the key that drives all of it.
Yeah, and I think in the article that you actually wrote for our sire director, you did a great job of the argument of how that has driven beef demand, particularly, as we've kind of gone through COVID and folks have had to, eat at home more and all of those things, and yet beef demand has grown through that whole process, and a lot of that's because we've improved the eating experience for our consumer, and that's selection for, a high quality product.
Absolutely, and that's a great point, Lorna. I thought when the pandemic started and we saw ground beef flying off the shelves, I thought, okay, this is going to be kind of a ground beef market or a cheaper protein market. Actually, what happened is beef, I think, has moved into a category all of its own. And since last March when the pandemic started, we have seen, for example, on premium choice, such as certified Angus beef, instead of it being $4 to $8 premiums per hundredweight of carcass, we've actually seen those commonly in the $12 to $15 to $18 category from that March through December period of time. And that's absolutely incredible. And yet they sold huge tonnages during that period of time. So when you can sell more for a higher price, that is what you call demand.
Well, Dr. Corr, we really appreciate you joining us here today, and we're so excited about everything you've helped us accomplish as we've kind of tried to create more marketing opportunities for our customers, and we're excited that hopefully we'll have more news to share in the near future.
Well, it's been fun working with you guys.